And we are live. Actually, this is pre-recorded. Let's not lie. Talking with Jesse Lee, drummer and all-around musician extraordinaire who I've had the opportunity to be in a band with, write music with, perform with, and have a lot of good times with. What's up, Jess?
Hey, Bloody. How are you?
Good, man. You're looking good and healthy.
Well, same to you, sir.
So, I've been seeing you all over the net, man, with Death by Volcano, like this new music that you're doing because you're literally a one-man band right now. And man, dude, I've never seen anybody come up with such good material so consistently and just constantly putting it out there. I'm like, man, this dude just is like a one-man think tank, a one-man band, a one-man operation all the way around, dude. How do you do it?
Well, a lot of my passion's music and being creative, obviously, and I love artistic endeavors, specifically music. I just have I don't have a lot of free time. I'm in college full time now, but I do have a lot of time where I'm by myself in my apartment, and it just is an obsession, really, man. And honestly, I would be in a band, or I would like to have a band doing this music with me, but I live in Grants Pass, Oregon, so I try band mix and stuff, and it's just slim pickings, it seems like, or maybe I'm not that plugged in, but I'm kind of obsessive with making music, and I have feelings and thoughts that I want to get out. I don't know, you said you saw me all over I don't promote myself a lot, maybe because we're friends online, but sometimes, if you were measuring it by the number of likes or how much Spotify says people are paying attention, I don't know that I'm really all over the place. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess because I'm subscribed to you and like Instagram and whatnot. And whenever you put new stuff out, I always see it right away. And I'm just like, this is awesome. And there's rarely a song that I don't think is killer. So that's why I thought, if you're looking for, hey, guys out there listening to this or watching this, if you're in Oregon, or particularly Southern Oregon, Jesse's looking for band members, right?
Yeah, I need a drummer. I need a couple guitarists and a good bassist, and people who can sing backing vocals. Specifically, if you live in Ashland, Rogue Valley, basically anywhere between Merlin and Ashland on I-5. I live in Grants Pass, and I do need talented and passionate musicians. Hit me up. Oh, should I plug my social media so they can contact me?
Go for it, bro.
You can look me up on Facebook, Jesse Lee Robertson. I'm in Grants Pass, and Death by Volcano _43 on Instagram.
Awesome. Me and you met, what year was that? Was it 2016, 2017? Do you remember?
It was like 2017 or 2018, I think, somewhere around there. It's kind of a blur, honestly, but somebody.
Yeah, we met because I was in a band called Divine Dirt with Andy Friend on guitar, and David Valley was playing bass. And we had gone through a succession of drummers, and we finally met you through our mutual friend Occam. Shout out to Occam, great dude in Southern Oregon. And we ended up meeting, and it clicked, and you were a great fit for Divine Dirt. And flash forward a bit, we ended up in LA recording with a bunch of really legendary people. And that album that we did together, your drumming is stellar on Divine Dirt from the Underworld, the album. Jesse Lee on drums, got to give it up to you, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, well, thanks, because actually I had been not playing live or with bands for a while when you hit me up. Occam connected us, and I was surprised to get a call from you. And I had like a couple of drum sets in my garage. I just gotten like a new Gretsch white drum set, and that's the one I would bring around for the shit the things we did. Yeah, that was definitely when I first came in to Andy's place, I think it was, and where was that? Rogue River or
Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow. And then I know about you and your history, and your roots to the early 80s and Gigi Allen, and of course when I was a teenager I was like obsessed with Gigi Allen, and I was like, no way, bloody FMS from and then I became more familiar with your rich musical history from the Midwest, and I was really excited to, ending up to record on that album was definitely up there with a good time down in LA.
Yeah. And then we got to do a couple gigs after that out in Kenosha, Wisconsin and Peoria, Illinois. Those were good times. And the music video that we made with Mike Garrett in Peoria, Howlin' at the Moon, that's a great video.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I liked the gigs we did in LA. I liked the ones we did in Oregon. But the Midwest was interesting, man. That was like, well, it was definitely like a homecoming for you. That first one we did in, was it Kenosha? No, it was Peoria. That was a pretty wild night. I mean, it was fun.
Good crowd, man.
Yeah, except because we flew, I had to play other people's drum kits, and that was kind of weird. Like but it was nice to have people had drum kits set up for me to play. But it was like I've always been really particular with the way I set up, and so it was interesting. But it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, and I forgot about the gig we played in Los Angeles. We did that the same weekend we were recording, right?
Yeah. We played somewhere in like San Diego, I think, and then we played in LA.
Oh, that's right. We played San Diego too. Man, my memory's slipping, bro. Yeah, the San Diego gig was but the LA gig was great because we were with the great Jatan Damone and Rick Agnew was there, and it was just a really fun show watching those guys perform. And of course, Ron Hufstadter filmed our set there, and that was cool. That's on YouTube. The whole Divine Dirt set from LA too.
Yeah.
How many years were you doing music before you and I met? Because I do know about your past, but how many years, like when did you get involved in music?
I mean, since I was a little kid, I've always been interested in all types of instruments, and music has always like tickled me and I don't know, captured my interest. But it wasn't until like 1996 when I had my first like official professional gig in Sacramento, California. I mean, I'd played other gigs, but this was the one that like broke us out, and we were playing like crazy everywhere after that. And that was a good time. Since like 96, I've done a lot, you know. I won't like drop names or bands we played with and stuff, but I've had a lot of really, really cool experiences to just, you know, you could say I've been a professional musician, but I've never been more than like regionally known in any of my bands.
Well, you know, that Divine Dirt album went all over the world, and a lot of people gave it a lot of praise. There was a lot of good reviews. And when I hear that record, it's stellar. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but as a collective, Divine Dirt, that album was killer, dude. And your drumming, again, just good stuff, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So Death by Volcano, how'd you come up with that name of the current project that you're putting music under, that moniker?
Well, I've always been kind of infatuated with volcanoes since I was a kid. And then I love the band The Dead Milkmen from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They have songs about volcanoes, like Born to Love Volcanoes, and I just always been. And then I had a friend who lived in Montana who was talking about how they'd moved there so they'd be in the kill zone of the volcano if it ever erupted, and that would be the best way to die because it would kill the whole family and nobody'd have to suffer alone. And so I thought, oh, Death by Volcano, and I just liked the ring of it, and I didn't really want to like work on stuff under like the weird this is my name, like put that out there. I wanted to start putting music out, and my music is really all over the map. Everyone's like, why don't you pick a sound? Or they're always scratching their head or seem befuddled by my inability to, I just follow my moods. But lately I've been just getting into more guitar stuff and trying to sing more and write stuff that's means something to me, you know, personally, and maybe people could relate to. So that's kind of what, in fact, the song you're probably going to play tonight is my newest thing that's particularly about a friend of mine who I lost due to an overdose and how it relates to me. So that's why I finished it for this.
You cut out there for about a second. It's about a friend of yours that you lost to an overdose, you said, right?
Yeah. It's called Cameron, and I just decided to write a song about it the other day, and it's finished, and you're gonna
Awesome.
probably, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it as soon as we're done talking, man, for sure.
Wait.
And I gotta make a comment. Speaking of the word overdose, me and you come from rock and roll and from a pretty crazy backgrounds. And when we met, let's just both admit it without getting into detail, neither one of us were saints, and we still aren't saints. But at the time, you and I were pretty much party boys of the band. And it's nice to see we both escaped that self-created prison, man. And I wanted to say congratulations on your sobriety, bro.
Well, thank you, man. It's actually really important to me, and I'm not embarrassed to say that I'm in recovery and I've been an addict for a long time. And yeah, when we met, we kind of discovered that mutual connection there, the thing in common. Besides the music came first, of course, but yeah, I'd be lying if I said everything from those years we were doing what we did was completely in focus in my memory. You know what I mean?
Well, hey man, it was a lot of fun. And one thing that was bizarre was we named the album From the Underworld, and that came from Bhagavan Das talking to me one day, and he says, "You've spent most of your life in the underworld." And I'm like, "Yeah, I suppose I have." And I thought, and that's a great album title. And he's like, "What?" And so we ended up calling the album Divine Dirt From the Underworld. We go on tour and we get to the San Francisco airport from Medford and get to San Francisco. And the first person we see when we walk in sitting down is Bhagavan Das. Now that, my friend, was bizarre.
Yeah. Well, and I should say yes. And I remember Occam took me to a Bhagavan Das, like he sang and stuff once before you and I met, I think. But I will say that was kind of the beginning of the end, recording that album and my whole genesis, you could say, of living, without toxins and things like that in my body. Kind of came out of like the beginning of like some kind of an awakening from that. So it's a lot more significant probably than we have time to go into, but.
And Bhagavan Das was over in Grants Pass because I was managing him for a very brief time. And you came there because I invited you to see Bhagavan Das and you met him that night.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's right. Oh, it was you there. That wasn't Occam. It was
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was a little, I was pretty.
It's just a lot of times I mess up my timelines. I just wanted to remind you of that one. So, Death by Volcano, you've been doing music like I've heard you do rap, I've heard you do metal, I've heard you do punk, and I've heard you do music that doesn't really fall under any category. My suggestion is keep doing what you do, bro. If you do an album and it's got all that stuff all over the board, most music lovers are going to say, I dig this. There's a lot of musicians today that are putting out music that's all over the place, man. I can name a few that do hard stuff. They do rap, they do hip hop, they do a lot of pop, and it's just kind of like, wow, that's a true artist, bro. So I encourage you to do that. Be the band that does whatever the heck you guys want, man, and don't follow any other like guidelines or, be the leader that you are.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I do get doubtful of myself sometimes because I'll be like, why did I record that and post it on social media? Because now I don't, but then I'll listen to it later and I'm like, oh, I actually did like that. So I'm just a moody son of a gun. I think I'm proud of everything I do because it's all part of, that labor of love. I like to stay busy, man.
Well, everyone, if you're listening to this or watching this, please check out Death by Volcano. And you can be found where? Are you on like YouTube? I know you're on Instagram.
Yeah, well, it's Jesse Lee Robertson is my Facebook profile. If you were to look for it, Jesse Lee Robertson Grants Pass, and then it's Death by Volcano _43 on Instagram. There's other stuff out there. I mean, you can find Death by Volcano on Spotify and all the music platforms too. If you just search Death by Volcano.
And Jesse is spelled, guys, Jesse, and then Lee, and then Robertson.
Yes, sir.
Good to talk to you, bro. Thank you so much. We're going to go into your song right now, Death by Volcano. Let us know what you think, guys, after the song plays. And thanks for being here, Jesse.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy. I love you, man. It's always good talking to you.
Yeah, love you too, bro. Thanks so much. Anything you want to end with? Are you good?
Just glad we're friends.
Haha, me too, brother. Death by Volcano, right here at the Almighty Church of Rock and KSKQ with Jesse Lee Robertson, the man. Let me end this recording. Let's see, bro. How do I stop?